Hey everyone, I'm back. It's been a while. I've been working on something pretty cool, I think, and I want to show that to you guys today. And what I've been working on is a teaching app, a learning app for piano and for music theory in general. So I've seen many people teach piano online and music theory online, like on YouTube and things like that. And they're using some kind of app where you can actually play the piano and you can see the notes as you play them. You can see the different keys on the keyboard on your screen and they light up as you play them on your MIDI piano keyboard that you have connected to your computer. And you can see the chords that you're playing. Actually, even if you don't even know what chords you're playing, it'll tell you what chords you're actually playing, or the alternative chords that can be played with the same keys and the same notes. And you'll also be able to see written notation. So so that makes up for a really good teaching tool and a learning tool as well for piano and music theory in general. And two of these apps I've seen people use is the first one is called Midicoulous. The other one is called Chordie, the Chordie app, and they're pretty cool. And they look a little bit like this. I'm going to show you what it looks like. This is a video from YouTube where someone is using it, and I thought it would be fun to see if I could clone this or just make something similar, because these apps are apps that you download and install on your computer. So I thought it would be cool to see if I could do it in the browser, because now there's support, at least in some browsers, for MIDI. Chrome, Opera, and the other browsers are coming along slowly. But I thought it would be interesting to see if I could make something like this, a teaching tool like this, in the browser using the Web MIDI API. And so I did, and I made this one I call it Chord Ace, and you can actually find it on chordace.com because that was available, and it sounds pretty cool as well. So yeah, this video I'm going to show you what I made and talk a little bit about how I made it and where I'm going from here. So let's have a look at it. Okay, so this is what I ended up with. And the reason I have this is, of course, to tell people what this is all about, but also because, as you know, you have to click a button or have some kind of user interaction before you can get sound in your browser, before the web audio API will initialize. So yeah, I had to do that. So I'm just going to click begin, and then what you can see here is all the different options that you have. You can see we have a grand staff here with a treble clef and a bass clef. We can change that up here in the menu. We can select the treble if you, for some reason, only want to show a treble or a bass clef. Then you can also change the sound, and you can change the layout of the keys, how many keys you want on your keyboard. So if you only have, I only have like 25 key MIDI keyboard connected right now, so I only need 49 keys, but I'm just going to go with 61 keys because maybe that looks a little bit better. I don't know. Then you can also select the accidentals. You can have it auto, so it'll select the most appropriate notes to show in the notation here. I'll show you that in a second. But you can also select sharps and flats if you want. And yeah, and then you can go ahead. You can play on your keyboard as well. I mean, your computer keyboard. That's what I'm doing right now. That's a C major 7. And as you can see, the keys light up on the piano keyboard on the screen. You can see the written notation is the C major 7. You can, at the top, you can see the note names and the chord name. I can add other. This is a ninth I'm adding now. So this is basically how it works. But I'm going to try to play my piano right now, or my real MIDI keyboard. So let me show you something. If I'm going to play a C minor first. Just like that, and it tells you it's a C minor, and it looks right. It's a C and an E flat and a G, which is a C minor. But let me try to play as an augmented, C augmented. Now you can see it's actually a G sharp, not a flat. And that is what I meant by the auto up here. When you have it set to auto, it'll automatically detect what kind of if it's most appropriate to have. As we know, it's more appropriate to use a B in a minor chord because it's a diminished third, not a, what would you call it if I go here and I select sharps instead? It would not be a augmented second, which it shows here. But I made these. You can select if you want to use sharps and flats. Maybe you can use it in for education or something like that. But mostly I would have it set to auto here, so it automatically selects these things. So I'm not a piano player, but yeah, it works. It kind of works. You know, you can see whatever you want to. I can change this to the treble. I can also transpose here. And of course, you can change the sound here. I'm going to change to electric piano. It's going to load the sound. It'll take a little while, but it should work in a second. Nice Fender Rhodes sound here. And as you can see, it also displays the alternative chord. So this is like an F6, but it's also a D minor 7 over F. So yeah, there are different ways you can use this in different ways. I'm gonna go back to the Grandstaff, and yeah, this is basically what it is. It's a teaching tool. You can start your screen recorder. You can make YouTube videos with this, and you can teach people. You can also sit and play around with it by yourself and learn what the different chords you're playing actually are. Add the 7th. And one of the things that my app Chord Ace has that the others, Midicoulous and Chordie, don't have is sound, the ability to play sound. So select the piano sound or electric piano sound. The others don't have that. And of course, I know that these sounds are not the best quality in the world. They're okay, but I thought it would be cool too that you can just, if you don't have a keyboard around, you can, play around with your computer's keyboard and just show a few chords to someone if you need that and you don't have the equipment at hand. But most people would probably use the sound of their real piano keyboard that they're playing with, or have another piece of software on their computer. So that would sound better. And also, of course, there's a bit of a latency in this. It's not much, but it's there. So it's probably better, or it is better if you use your own sound. But nevertheless, you can do that. But if you want to use your own sound, you don't want to hear the sound from the browser, of course, you just go ahead and you select sound off here, and then it'll still work, but there's not going to be any sound. So how did I make this? I made it from different parts that I've already done before. And one of the things is I made a video not that long ago on this channel about how you get MIDI in the browser. And I used that. I changed it a little bit. And then I also used the piano keyboard that you can see that light where the keys light up as you play them. I have another tutorial on how to make an SVG keyboard right on this channel. I'll leave the links in the description, of course, and you can go check that out if you want to build something like this as well. I made some minor changes to it, but basically it's the same thing as I show in the videos and the tutorials on this YouTube channel. I'm also using other libraries and tools for this little app here. And one of the things I'm using, and I've been playing around with for a while now, is Tonal.js, which is a great music theory library for JavaScript. Basically what I'm using it for here is just to detect the different notes that you're holding down. So I convert the MIDI numbers that you're holding down on your MIDI keyboard into whatever chord is being played actually. So first you would detect what the different MIDI numbers corresponds to, what note names they correspond to, and then you would take those note names and feed it into the Tonal.js library, and then you will get back a list of chords that it actually that the notes make up. So that's what I'm using for that. You can do many other things with it, but that's a great library and you should check it out. It's really good. I do have an old tutorial that is not totally up to date on this channel, but you can check it out. It's also linked in the description. So that's what I'm using for recognizing the chords that we're playing here. Another thing I'm using for the sound is Howler.js. And I know I did another video about how you can make a sound sprite by yourself by using the Web Audio API, and I'll link that as well in the description. I thought that I wanted to continue that direction, and I thought that I wanted to, make my own little audio sprite thing, but I actually ended up going to Howler.js because that is much more robust. I found out that I would need to fade out the different sounds when I let go of the keys on the keyboard. And yeah, there's so many different things that you have to take. You need to get an ID of every single sound that you play, and I need to fade them out every single one. So that was already built into Howler.js. So I ended up going that direction instead of reinventing the wheel. But yeah, that's definitely something I gotta look into, how I can do these different things. But that was pretty complicated, so I kind of gave up on that, and I wanted to move forward, and I ended up using Howler.js for that as well, which is great. It works well. It's been tested. It's great. So another thing, as you can see here, this is the written notation, and for this I'm using VexFlow. VexFlow is a library, and you can do almost anything you want with written notation. You can use rests, you can use beams, you can do lots of things. And this is an amazing library, but it's also, it seems pretty huge, it's pretty big, and it gets pretty complicated pretty quickly. So it's kind of hard for me to understand everything that's going on. There are a few examples on how to do the basic things in the documentation, but to be honest, I don't think the documentation really is that good. It lacks a clear explanation of all the different things you can do with this, and it's not the world's most comprehensive documentation, but it's a great library, and it's so cool. This is SVG, so you can actually zoom in on it, and you can make it bigger and smaller, and it'll retain the resolution. It'll not become bad quality or pixelated or anything like that, because it's vectors, just like the keyboard is here. So well, that's what it is. It's far from perfect. It's a very basic version of what I try to emulate or copy or clone, if you will. In the other apps, Chordie and Midicoulous, you have more preferences. Like you can see a guitar fretboard and see the notes on that in Chordie at least, and you can switch between the key signatures. And but I think this one it works pretty well, I think. And this is just the first draft. I'm probably going to continue on working on this, and yeah, it's a cool little project, I think. So yeah, if you have any suggestions how I can improve this, how I can make it better, I already have a few ideas myself. I want to add some, so you can select the key signature, so you will have the sharps or the flats here, so you don't have to put them in front of every single note here. And it will be nice to, maybe I'm gonna be able to add a guitar fretboard as well, so you can see how you play the different chords on a guitar. But that's pretty tricky, because there are many different ways of playing chords on a guitar. And a piano, you can see, it's like there's only one of each note, and on a guitar you have many different kinds and many different positions where you can put your fingers. So that's going to be hard. But yeah, I'm gonna continue on this, and if you have any suggestions, please don't hesitate to leave a comment here and let me know what I can do, how I can make it better, and let me know if you're using this, if it fits for you, if it's something you can use for your students. It would be awesome. I would really love to hear from you if you have any ideas. So yeah, thank you for watching. Go to chordace.com, check it out, connect your MIDI keyboard, or you can also just go ahead and play with your normal computer's keyboard. But I recommend, a MIDI keyboard is much better, and preferably a bigger one than this one. But I don't have the space on my desk here because the camera and everything. But I hope you like this video. I hope you like this project. Go check it out, and like and subscribe and share this video. And yeah, Happy New Year's. See ya.